Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde. So today we're going to be touring one of our new rent-to-own homes, which is here a 5-bedroom, 2-bath property with a finished basement, detached 2-car garage, and plenty of space for parking. One of the key things to note about rent-to-own homes is that they're all around you, yet they're not easily attainable. And this is one of the things that I always teach you guys, that you have to look for rent-to-own homes because they're there, they're available, and you can get them based on terms. So the main key to rent-to-own is location, because you're acquiring and you're getting the house now, but you're buying it later. So you want to make sure that you're moving into an area that's really good, that has factors such as a good school system, but it's mostly safe and clean. You also want to make sure that you tour the area and see what other properties in that area are going for. Because remember, you want to set yourself up so when it's time to negotiate your purchase price, which should be 2 years and 3 years down the line, that you actually are factoring in what the appreciation in that market may be. And again, this is the prerequisites that we use to be able to set ourselves up for our rent to own. So I'm going to be touring you throughout the home just so you can actually see what it looks like. There are 3 floors of living space. One of the key things to note about rent to own homes is that they come in all shapes and sizes. So some of them you may find them to be brand new. There may be properties that are built maybe just a few years ago. And then there are others like this, which haven't been on the market in over 14 years. So as I show you through the property, I'll be pointing out and highlighting to you areas where you can use to be able to negotiate with the owner. So for example, you're going to try to get the best rent possible when you're moving into the property. In addition to that, you want to try to get your lease option or your down payment negotiated. And you can do that by highlighting areas that need to be fixed. So one of the things that we look at here on this particular property is the roof. We look at the driveway condition. We look at several things that when it's time to actually sit down at the table and come up with terms with the owner, we're able to actually negotiate those. So that's the key thing to note. One of the things that I teach you guys is how to negotiate your rent to own. So for example, when you pull up to the property, you're going to be looking at things like the roof. You're going to look at the age of the siding. You're going to look at the driveway. You're going to look at the condition of the steps. Look at the condition of the property to basically position you so that when it's time to negotiate that rental amount, that lease option down payment, and also the final purchase price, you're in a better position. And another main note that I want to make is the fact that this property actually got through a 14-year relationship, because I maintain relationships as a real estate agent here with many of my clients over a long period of time of my career. And this property was actually given to me by my client, who I've made a lot of money for, and he actually has several single-family homes. And that is a key note, because one of the key ways that you're going to be able to get rent-to-own homes is by actually dealing with single-family homeowners and investors, people who actually keep single-family homes basically for their investment portfolio. And this gentleman actually owns property not only in this area but also in another state, and he actually utilizes these to be able to not only generate a great passive monthly cash flow for him and his family, but leverage him to be able to buy other properties. So I'm going to tour you through the property. I'm also going to be teaching you how to find key rent-to-own homes and how to negotiate them in our rent-to-own masterclass. You can actually join our masterclass by going to AskRinde.com, clicking on rent-to-own, and getting started today. So I'll see you guys inside. So this property is actually a 6-bedroom, 2-bath property from the attic all the way to the basement. Now currently the tenants are moving out, so again it doesn't show the best, but again when you're actually purchasing properties like this and you're looking to get into a rent-to-own, you actually want to look at the space more so than anything else, because a lot of times you're going to find a diamond in the rough in some cases when you're dealing with an older home like this. So cosmetically, you can always paint the property, you can always finish it off to your taste. The most important thing is to look at the space requirements, because that is really what's going to be the value. As I've always shared, you make money with real estate when you buy, not when you sell. So you want to make sure that the bedrooms are good size, and you want to also make sure that it has a decent kitchen. You want to make sure that the property doesn't need a lot of work. Sometimes when you're looking at properties like this with all the things in it, it may seem like it needs a lot of work, but it's not. It actually just needs to be cleared out. And this property actually has really good bones. It's a combination of brick and also vinyl siding out from the outside. It also has a detached 2-car garage and plenty of space in the backyard. So this is what we're talking about by actually getting value. You can always use flaws and defects that you find to your advantage to negotiate with the seller a lower rental amount. to discuss the option payment, and most importantly, to set a price and amount for your future purchase. Ideally, if you can get a property like this that has a formal living room and a formal dining room, that will be key. One of the main things that I always share about home ownership is that you want a property that has space. That is one thing that will always allow you to be able to make changes. Even if the property needs work, it needs updating, it needs painting, it needs cosmetic treatment, you can make those changes and add value to your property. This is one of the key secrets to building value in your home. And so one of the keys for rent to own is that you want to get properties like this, which is a single family, and this property actually has a separate entrance to the basement from the outside, and that is really huge, specifically when you're looking for a property that's going to be an asset and not a liability. Like I always share with you guys, you want a property that's going to give you the ability to be able to carry itself and get rental income should in case life happens. And sometimes life does happen. As I've always shared, you know, sometimes resets happen and you find yourself in a situation where you lost your job or you lost your income as a self-employed person, and you find yourself in this position where you need the property to help pay for itself, or you need to get income from the property. So in cases like that, you want a property like this, specifically when you're doing your rent to own, because you're going to have a separate entrance from the outside. And in the case of this particular property, it has 2 bedrooms and also a bath and also a living room downstairs. So it's an excellent situation for that. And like I shared, the owner has multiple properties, single families, different parts of the country. And as you guys know, I do rent to own right all around the country. Different types of properties, brand new. Some of them are aged, like this property has been on the market in 14 years. And I actually sold this property 2007, several years ago. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about rent to own. Make sure you join the masterclass, AskRinde.com, click on rent to own and get started today.